Hello.
Hi, my name is Victoria Bard, founder of Create Yes, Your Essential Self, encouraging everyone to embrace the experience of evolving. And we are here in the Evolve Up room as part of Up Convergence leading up to Peace Weekend. My guest today is Lolo Lesser. Lolo, I'm happy to have you here. Let me tell people about you. Lolo has been trained as a psychotherapist and group leader. She's a life coach and a caregiver, a single parent, and a training developer for nurturing parents trainers. And she has gone to 3 countries, multiple wonderful cities, and the discovery of community beyond locality. She's brought 3 nonprofits from inception to thriving, all on a grassroots level. She has worked in government organizations and charities as a child and family specialist, a supervisor for mentors of at-risk children. She's a facilitator of focus groups and an assessor of parent-serving charities. Her deepest desire has been to create a transformational school for children with relevant subject matter, training, and supporting the whole person to emerge luminescent and anti-fragile. And today she'll be talking to us about her Empatharian Movement for Peace Arts training. And she has another project she wants to talk about. Lolo, welcome to Evolve Up.
Hi, Victoria. So good to see you.
And you.
Actually, it's the same program, but I've renamed it because people aren't familiar with the word empatharian. You know, it's like a new word I created. So,
yes.
And I really want to get people to try out the work. So what it is.
What's the new name?
The name of the project I'm doing is Co-Creative Movement Meditations, and it's meditation practice. So
there we go.
Daily practice, co-creative movement meditation practice daily.
Oh.
So it's Monday through Friday. I'm going to do a opportunity, and it's free for 2 weeks. And then after that, if you think it's worthwhile, I would actually charge a monthly fee of $27.50.
Oh boy.
And I think people will find it very, very, very useful.
So before we go to that, let's start off with a little bit more about your background.
Yeah.
What got you to here? What's your foundation?
Well, I have a pretty deep foundation. I've been doing Buddhist meditation for about 30 years, and did a contemplative psychotherapy training, contemplative psychology training. I also did it's called psychoanalytic developmental psychology in England. And I've done a lot of work with facilitating parent groups, particularly single parents. And I also worked in Boulder, Colorado, doing a project for helping court-ordered parents, and to learn parenting and to facilitate their parenting practice.
When were you in Boulder, Colorado?
Pardon me, your voice got all funny there.
Okay, talk.
You wanted to ask me about Colorado.
When were you in Colorado?
When I was Colorado was the Naropa Institute.
You went to Naropa.
Naropa University, yes.
Yep.
And when I graduated there, that was when I started doing work. So I was in Boulder altogether about 10 years.
I'm just wondering if we were in Boulder at the same time.
I think we were, darling. Yes, I was.
Well, for our listeners who don't know our backstory.
Yes, for about 5 years, I was working at Boulder County Head Start as well as the child and family specialist. And there was 5 preschools, one of them in Broomfield, Louisville, and I think 2 in Boulder and 1, well, anyway, can't even
Yes.
remember it all.
Yeah.
But it was a wonderful, I had about 300 children and all those parents that I got to do things with, and it was a wonderful experience. And the project and program of Head Start is awesome, and I loved it. Of course, it underpays people. And
Yes.
that's the thing. People are doing such valuable work there and really preventing crime in the end and putting people on the road. I met some of the people that were in my programs years later, and they were just, had said that preschool, 2 years of work gave them the tools to survive tremendous adversity, and that they were coming out on top, which was so good to hear. Because
That must be really affirming to hear stories in real life later of the impact.
and that was someone I met in Los Angeles. So I haven't really been back to Boulder in all those years, even though I still have some very dear friends there and a lot of heart connections. Boulder is a very special place. And
Yes, my children are there, my 2 adult children. My youngest is here with me. Yep.
well, it's a wonderful place to be, full of wonderful resources and
Oh,
support and community that understands the need for community. And
this is very true.
And this is one of the things that when we get to our big cities, we kind of screw around, and we have a lot of people that get isolated and pushed off to the edges. And I'm not happy with that. I want to create a new system of people being able to connect on an authentic level rather than a superficial level. And I also would like to help people on every level, because I think that's what, and this work that I'm doing is actually something that my mother was doing starting from when I was about 5 years old.
Just tell us a bit about your mother and how, yeah, tell us a bit.
Okay.
The whole session could be on your mother. So
It could. So I'll be very succinct. My mother was quite a creative genius. She was a prima ballerina and teacher in 3 countries of ballet, mime, tap, and national dancing. Her first language was Russian. She was brought up in South Africa. Her family immigrated from Lithuania, Latvia area, and was extremely involved in the arts and philosophy, and trained my mother in the love of peace. And so this is what she became in her work, was that she wanted to develop something that could be, it became a project for peace. So it's pretty wonderful. But she didn't get anywhere. Although she says that Head Start stuff, she was writing letters to Lyndon Johnson, and her correspondence is in his archives. And she says she gave the ideas for Head Start, and she also corresponded with a lot of congressmen and senators, setting up a lot of infrastructure for the Great Society that Lyndon Johnson set up, which was the first time that we really put federal funding into the arts and the humanities, and that continues today. I don't know what my mother would think of it. But
it has changed. Yeah. So she's a visionary. She got things out there and implemented. It's one thing to have an idea and to share it and to want to bring it into fruition, but it's another to have an idea, put it out there, have it take root and grow and become.
Well, this is the thing that she didn't and really wasn't able to do, because she really wasn't able to get her project started the way she wanted. She thought it had to go through the government. And I always was telling her, no, no, governments go behind the people. We have to be showing the government what we're already doing. And she felt very proprietary about her work, partly because what she was creating was a language and she felt she needed to control the language, otherwise you wouldn't have a language. So like French, she wanted l'académie of her project, which she called telesymbols at the time. And she wanted so that people could understand each other. English has the problem that the language goes higgledy-piggledy all over the place, and we can't understand some people speaking English in some places.
English is one of the harder languages to learn because of all of the rules and then all of the exceptions to the rules where you don't follow the rule. It's just part of the written and visual and spoken aspects of our language.
It's very hard, and in many ways, people from other countries have a lot of difficulty learning it. However, they are, because English has become kind of the most internationally used language. So although we're beginning to learn Chinese and beginning to learn Spanish in our schools, a big thing is that really most schools in the United States don't teach languages. And
right.
That is a problem that gets in the way of brain development as well. In other countries, it's really been shown that learning another language. So this is part of what Empatharian is another language. And it's a language that we hope can help people learn English better because it's got a kinesiology and movement piece that helps anchor the learning in a way. And we're going to be talking in that language about meaning and not getting too hung up on the grammars and the thises and the that's. We're communicating meaning and hopefully intuitively. So that's the dream of my mother, was really a utopian dream in a way of a universal language that people could understand the gestures of it simply by looking. And this was something that in the 20th century, there were quite a few people who said it was impossible. So here she was in the 20th century doing what was said to be impossible.
Yes.
So she had a number of ticks against her. And now, you know, we have the strength and the courage to know that all is possible.
Yes. So she set up a foundation, and now you've taken the torch and you're doing something with it that might be the same or different, but you have taken the torch and you have already shifted how it's coming into the earth, how it's being birthed into this new era, even in the last couple of weeks since we last talked. So you've shifted from the Empatharian movement for peace, which when I first read that, I thought you were talking, and I know about the movement piece, but I thought you meant movement as in a social movement, as in that movement, and like a movement for peace.
You I want it to be that too.
Yes, so the double entendres for movement. And now your name, a co-creative movement meditation practice. I understand.
Let me be clear what that is and why.
Yes, please do.
I'm not dropping Empatharian Movement for Peace by any
means.
It's the same thing. It's the same thing. I'm just simply naming the initial taster, something that people can understand in words they've heard before.
Good.
So that they can digest what I'm offering as a co-creative movement meditation practice.
You were talking about this as being a language. Would you like to demonstrate how this movement works, or would you like to talk a little bit more about your ideals and desires for how this can go into the world?
Well, I'd like to talk about actually the benefits of doing this practice, but I'm happy to do a little demonstration of something. And this is really the basic thing. Slow movement. You won't see how my hands change from a small fist. This is so. A little different from when you last saw me. See? Things evolve.
Things do evolve.
And that mechanism for evolving is the most important. But this is heart. We all know. Connection. I'm making a connection. One arm is going forward, one arm is going back. Whenever we're making connections, we're always reaching back also and bringing with us our ancestors, our roots, so much. So there's the truth of it. And then the rest is something you can't see off screen yet. There we go. And this one is resting in. You might guess what this is. Did you? If your hands are way up and you're looking up at the sky. Wisdom. So it's inner joy, maybe, or something. Whatever you see is really what it is, you know? Up and down, something that lands. Something that's higher power. So this is actually what my mother called a demonstration.
Mm-hmm. And you wanted to talk about the benefits before you go into the demonstration, and perhaps a demonstration with words for the first round, if you do 2 rounds. But let's talk about the benefits for a little bit.
Well, here's what I want to do. I want to switch to my little slideshow.
Oh, yes,
Okay?
and let me make you co-host so that you can share screen. There we go. You could have shared screen anyway. I'm going to.
Could I? Wonder how this is going to work. Hold on a minute.
Yeah, so
Let me try.
You see the share screen button at the bottom?
Yes, I've got it. It's just that it's not showing. It looks like I have to minimize the Zoom meeting in order to have.
Yes, you do. Yeah, you can't have it in full screen view. You will have to.
I have to.
When you go to share screen, it'll show your other options.
Oh, okay. But it's a little hard to tell how to do this. So if it's desktop 1, we'll share. Oh, I see. Okay. Well, that's.
Yeah. And now you can open the other tab. If it's on a tab.
It is on a tab, but it's not in the. That's interesting.
Empatharian evolution beside that.
Hold on. Oh, this is very weird. Are you still there? Yeah, you're still
Yes, I'm here.
Okay.
And now we see your desktop, and that's beautiful art. I love that.
Wonderful. That's something my mom had.
Is it? Did she draw that?
No, it's something that she had. And I can't open this. Oh boy. I don't know why I can't open it. I'm clicking on it and it won't open. Huh.
Is it open somewhere already?
No. I mean, it's open right there.
Okay, well, let's see. As you're looking for that, I can say that I can talk a little bit about what I saw before. You showed me these movements, and there's 2 different ways that you you showed me. One way that you showed me was with the movements, and you described each one as you did it. And then the second time you did the movements without the description. And for myself, and the way I learn, hearing the meaning to you helped me to understand the movement, and seeing the movement without voice made it not as much, I didn't have as much understanding, but that's my interpretation. So I would love to hear you to speak the words as you do the movement, especially for those who are listening and are not able to see.
Yes, I'll do that. So the thing is, it looks like I can't do this. This is so weird.
If you go up to File Open, is that working? Oh, cancel.
I'm going to keep trying here. I
Yeah,
think because I had it open somewhere else, it wouldn't open here.
that could
This is
be.
where I need to open it. There we go.
All right.
So now we just go here and we go, ta-da! So this is my big thing that I made. And
This is beautiful. Let's hear.
yeah, so understanding deeply. So what we're really doing is understanding deeply the empath stretch, but there are more things to it than just this empath stretch. But I just wanted to give you the words that you were interested in. This is the words, okay? So here they are. Everyone, everywhere wins, making a stand for peace building, which is, and that's the equal sign, inspired, respectful energy, seeking heart connection, inner joy, and wisdom. So everyone, everywhere wins, making a stand for peace building, which is, and this is going to be two ways, which is, this interesting change, which is inspired, respectful, or dignified energy. Seeking, seeking. We have to move our eyes with this. Seriously seeking, very important. Heart connection, inner joy, and wisdom. So
Aha.
so there. So the empath stretch actually has 6 things that it does. Well, it moves you 6 ways: body, mind, spirit, emotions. It has a social component and creativity. So this is kind of the whole shebang of human being, you know. We've got everything in there that I can think of. Did we miss anything? We've got intellectual, emotional. Can you think of anything we missed, Victoria?
Intellectual as in mind, or
That's
is
right.
mind separate from intellectual?
It all comes together, doesn't it? Intellectual and mind is all together, but mind can be more than intellectual. And that's part of also training yourself to look at movement and look at gesture in a new way, by the way. So I'm going to go through what each thing does, because each one of those components is quite an important contribution. And you know, the physical stretching is 14 movements that allow your muscles to stretch and lengthen, your spine to align and straighten. And that's something that I've seen. I've been doing this practice from a place of needing it. So I want you to know it works. Heart and lung capacity expands. So we're really helping so many important health things. Breathing regulates, circulation improves, arm and hand muscles develop, torso and back muscles flex and flatten, and it's also simple, easy movement for all ages. And at some point, when we get leg motions along with it, it may become more whole body, but that becomes something that is optional. So mental and intellectual stimulation. So the words and the sentence will stimulate awareness and thinking. You're visualizing meaning and abstract thought. Mental focus improves. Brain development and intelligence increases. So emotional expression, feeling the meaning of the words and the sentence with longing and empathy. So and then you do it the first time as if you were someone else.
That's interesting.
Yeah. So you pay attention to your reactions and feelings and doubts as you do this. And it's something that we get to be in our feelings and talk about. Also, this is not unspoken. It comes after we do the movement, then we talk about it, right?
Okay.
But then there is a spot, a time of doing the movement where we get to do it creatively, finding our own moves. And that's when the
Aha.
legs will come in and we'll do it, however we do it. And that changes so much when we set the direction of our movement, It's fun also to put in, what is yours. And then socially connecting daily with other empaths. So that's what this particular little project is. It's a Zoom project. So it's a Zoom meeting, 25 minutes a day, connecting. And then
Okay.
spiritually, expanding luminosity and stretching our empathic understanding. We're embodying our deepest prayers and affirmation for peace, and we're helping align with our higher power. So this is a spiritual practice. Maybe I'm left out some of the wonderful things about stilling the mind so that but that has to do with the mental part of it too, doesn't it?
Okay.
Anyway,
You can bring it up now. You haven't left anything out.
I don't think I've left anything out. So here we're getting into what each particular thing is. And this is more deeply everyone, everywhere. If I could speak and gather you, I would, and full of heart, embrace you. Just let me do a poem with you.
Yes.
We have the strength, the courage to know that all is possible. This is what I say when I do the movements, wins. We have the strength, the courage to know that all is possible. How important is that for us all to do? I stretched out swaying, me a tree, my every branch breathed ecstasy, ecstasy. And for peace building, I have some gifts to give in return for kindness and the love of me. This is peace building, I think, which is you are the one seeking that love, the love for all people, the good and the bad. The thought going out, which is typically you inspired, is the dream from the good, from our poets and teachers, which sets us so free, we elate all the people. Respectful, for I be me at last, for they are they. Energy, and all our spirits gather mountains to raise and look, a look beyond. So that's our spirits gathering mountains, seeking, for truth is truth in different ways, a question that be softly told. Heart connection, but let me touch your soul of understanding to move and tell you thus and thus. Inner joy. Great things are done by small people. And wisdom. Most people are too busy with their own greatness. So there we are. So in addition to the Empath Stretch, and by the way, that poetry was my mother's words excerpted from various poems, but
I see.
those I connect with that, and I hope other people connect with it as deeply as I do. But of course, this is something I grew up with, So for me, I got to check in with other people. Do you connect with that?
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to hear. So in addition to that, I am doing this training with all of my knowledge. And in that knowledge are 5 breathing techniques to help improve sleep, clarity, waking up, relaxing, and stopping emotional reactivity. So this is useful. This is stuff we need, you know.
This is in the moment.
And one of my students today, I was sharing with a group that I was really feeling tired. And one of my students reminded me, hey, did you remember you taught me how to do something to energize yourself? I said, oh, I forgot. So she reminded me and I did it and it worked. It was great. So, and also 4 tapping techniques for self-massage. This is something really important in our day when we don't get people touching us. Yeah. 4 tapping techniques, and these are actually borrowed from Qigong practice. Okay. Ancient practices to awaken and align the organs, interior as well as the body, but it's aligning the interior organs with our health. Okay, and then we're also going to be doing, and this is the co-creative part, exercises to journal emotions and channel abundance into your life. So we're going to be doing some journaling. And then after this session, I would do a private phone call. It's optional, of course, with people to discuss what went on, because it's just 25 minutes and we're going to be doing private journaling. Sharing will be very limited because there's not that much time. But then we'll record the sessions so that you can remember them or refer back to them. So so there it is, $27.50 a month after the first 2 weeks to try it and see if you think it's for you. And I hope it's for everybody. I want to hear everybody's feedback about it. I know that women feel more comfortable moving their bodies, so I expect we'll have a lot of women. And it can be younger or older women, and it might be older women because it's people with limited flexibility can use this. And but younger women can do their big flexion things afterwards. This is your spiritual practice for 25 minutes. So let's see, I think that was my last slide. Let's see. Yep, that was my last slide. So we'll just.
So you have on there that you will be doing this by Zoom.
Yeah. Oh,
and you say to call you to get in touch. Is calling you the best way?
Well, I do have a website that somewhere, I have a Facebook page. I have a Facebook page that is, let's see, how do I stop sharing here?
So yeah, scroll up to the top of your screen and then a menu will come down.
I see, stop sharing, got it. There we go.
Hello.
Hooray. So, what was I saying? There's on the Facebook page, there's links so that you can get, I think you can sign up on the Facebook page. I'm not quite sure.
So do you want to pop
there's also direct links to the website where you can sign up on the website.
Okay. So what is the website?
You can call me. You know, you can do whatever you want.
So can I put this contact
website
information into the chat?
Sure. Oh. Call me if you have questions. Yeah. Wouldn't that be fun if people do that? Haha. So my phone number is 415-272-0401. And great. I do apologize. I may not answer the phone, but if people leave me a message, I will return the call within 24 hours. That's a promise. And I often screen my calls, and I'm sometimes in with clients, so I don't always answer the phone, but.
Right. So your phone, 415-272-0401 is one good way to reach you. You mentioned your Facebook page. What is that called?
Well, there's Empatharian. It's just called Empatharian. That's Empatharian.
Is that a group or a page?
There's both. There is an Empatharian Movement for Peace group as well, but the page is where I've listed events more often, because it seems like things get referred to the page before they get, I try to share them to the group as well, though.
Yes. I just put both the page and the group in there. Hopefully those links are correct. We'll check them.
Movement for Peace. So that the group is a little different, Empatharian Movement for Peace. And you know what? A long time ago, I set up a Telesymbol Movement for Peace page, which is still there. And unfortunately, I don't look at it very often. And I've put on there, please, contact Empatharian. I don't want to eliminate it. There are times when I get really a lot of traffic on that site. It's very interesting.
Aha. Well, as people gravitate to one or the other, you will naturally and organically be more engaged or not, and you can direct people to where you want people to be able to find you. So did I type it correctly this time? Groups, Movement for Peace?
Let's see. I've got to look at this. How do I see the chat? I just click on it, eh?
Yep.
No, it's Empatharian Movement for Peace.
Oh, Empatharian Movement for Peace. Okay, great. This is why
so you could eliminate the second line or else combine the second half of the first line. So it's Empatharian Movement for Peace is the group.
Great.
Something like that. Did you get it?
I did. Empatharian Movement for Peace.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, and then there's also the website, which is empatharian.com. So that one's quite easy to find. And then online teaching, you just click on online teaching and then you can enroll there.
Great. So do you want
to come up? You have to look at the page and then it comes up.
So would you like to go through the movements again with the description now that you're a little bit, now that I can focus on you and we can really show people? I'll spotlight you for a minute.
No, don't, wait.
No, don't.
Empatharian.com.
Yep.
And then it's / online teaching. So that's the other one to enroll.
So empatharian.com. Okay, there you go.
Oh,
great.
No, yeah.
No, good.
Huh, that's interesting. Mine didn't come up. I did one and it didn't come up. Well, anyway.
It's okay. You put the HTTPS and it's in there. We'll get it moved over to the Facebook Live recording as well in the chat. So would you at this time like to go through the movements in their complete form?
Would you like to do it with me?
Sure. You're sitting, I'm sitting, or are you going to stand?
I think I'm going to do it sitting actually, because do you know, I had a miracle, Victoria. Did I tell you I broke my foot? On August 27th, the day after my birthday, I broke my right foot.
Yes, I knew you broke your foot. How is it doing?
Guess what? I intended. Monday, I went to the doctor and guess what? No break.
All healed.
Not all healed. I do have an ankle sprain. So it's still a little painful to walk on, but I can walk.
Yay!
I'm not on crutches anymore. I can walk.
Wonderful.
It's a miracle. And I prayed for that miracle because it's really hard for someone I really sympathize with people who aren't able to walk. So I'm able to walk. I'm a runner actually, and I really want to start running. So that's one of the things I'm confronting right now. You get addicted to running,
Yes. Yes.
And if I don't do it, it's quite different. So I'm going to have to figure out a way of doing aerobic Empatharian, which might be a whole different thing. That might be the next progression, doing it aerobically. So let's just do this one again. And we can do it in our own time, any way we want. It's just taking in everyone, everywhere. Or the other way around, everyone, everywhere. Yeah. And putting our intention out there with our, bringing it all into us. Everyone, everywhere.
And
We're
right next to a
calling.
wall.
Yeah. So there we are, and then winds. And this one is a little unusual. We're holding in our fist very gently a baby bird. I want you to imagine a baby bird in this fist. And this baby bird is something very special, which we're going to keep and protect. So
you don't squish the bird.
Don't squish the bird.
You don't let go of the bird. You hold the
Hold
bird
it
lightly.
and protect it, and think of everybody wins. We have this, we have the strength.
The strength.
The strength and the
strength.
courage.
We have the courage.
To know that all is possible.
At all.
Just letting that sink in. Let's do that a few times. And yeah, lifting up our arms. So it is a bit strenuous, lifting up our arms. We have that strength to lift up those arms and the courage to know that all is possible. And then we take one hand, still keeping the little bird, holding the little bird, and upside down, because we're going to be letting him out. So we're making a stand, and we're letting the bird out, and we're making a stand. And this hand is down to anchor us while we're making our stand. So we're making a stand, and my hand is like this at the top when I finish this movement. So I'm making a stand.
What about this hand?
And this hand also, I let go of the fist and it's just out.
Okay.
And I'm holding behind me, is what I do. That makes sense to me because I'm making a stand and I'm anchoring myself. Yeah.
I put my hand behind me a bit. That made sense.
Just to anchor myself, making a stand for peace building. And the motion is actually a lot of effort in that motion. You're actually putting a lot of strength in your hands, pushing the air. Okay? We're pushing the air. It's not easy. We're peace building. We're pushing the air. Yes. And this is kind of fun. You can look at it. Yes. Yes. Peace building. And then I also like to do this one over and over again, and that's dipping down and going up. And that's just because somebody has been doing this motion and enjoying it so much. I think it's a really good motion for us to do.
It really opens up the whole thoracic chest breathing area.
Yes, it's awakening it. It's actually, we're putting our arm across and giving some pressure when we do this. Yes. So it's awakening us. So peace building. Now we'll go to the next one, which is, and this is the universal sign for equality. Okay, so I'm going to switch it up, which is, and then open hands, inspired. And I go up in a rainbow, inspired, and all the way out with my hands facing forward. So let's do that again. You can actually come forward, straight forward with your hands, and then up, inspired.
Very opening to the shoulders.
Very opening to the shoulders and wonderful. And it's showing some kind of universal openness here. And I'm facing my hands forward all the time I do this.
Okay.
So that's inspired. And this is, what is this one? Not touching the fingers now. The fingers are a little far apart. A little farther. Yeah, like that. What do you think? Is that different? I like that.
Yes.
This is respectful.
Respectful.
So we're respectful or dignified. I heard yesterday the word dignity used a lot. And this was the original word that my mother used in this. It was dignity. And I changed it to respectful because everybody's needing respect these days. You know, they need respect, but it's a dignity. We also need dignity.
Mm-hmm.
Dignity. It's the same thing.
Dignity.
How is it the same?
Oh, similar, yes.
It's in the same vibe.
And this is not as easy to do as it looks.
No,
I'm getting burning in the back of my neck and up here in the back of my
the things
deltoid.
to do when we're doing this, it's very good to notice where you're feeling that and consciously send your attention to those spots and let the muscles consciously. Yes, see, that's releasing.
You're bringing it
Very
in.
good.
Good.
Releasing energy when you yawn. That
Yes.
brings in more oxygen. Very good. So you're relaxing those parts that you feel tense with your conscious attention. Okay, we won't overdo this. Inspired, let's see, dignified, energy. So then we're creating energy, and it goes down first to our solar plexus and then goes up again and about to eye level. And then we go here to the next one, which is seeking. And I put this arm behind me just because I think probably it looks better than hanging off somewhere. Seeking. And we actually use our eyes to look at the horizon. This is a really good and important exercise physically, as well as this is kind of what human beings really need to be doing when we need to look at all the possibilities. Seeking. And we're seeking heart. Yeah, seeking
that
heart.
connection.
That connection. I'm touching your hand, Victoria. Yes. So an inner joy and wisdom. And this is, again, letting your shoulders drop so you're not stiff when you're holding, and see how hard you can straighten your arms and just reach up. But really let your shoulders relax. So it's important if your elbows bend a little when you're relaxing your shoulders, so be it. That's how you do it, you know? Because we need to have our bodies aligned and not be, we need to learn to relax each muscle as we do it so that it's a relaxed movement. Yeah? Relaxed movement.
Well, we don't do both.
You can do both sides if you feel you need to make a stand to both sides. I usually do to this side, and then I do peace to this side. And then I keep going. Just because that's sort of balancing me, you know?
Yes. Well, that's a
when
wonderful.
you do your creative bit, you're going to get to choose how many you do, to which side. And if you go in a circle, and if you turn to your neighbor and start doing it to them. It changes. I want to do circle dances with this and flash mobs. Flash mobs.
Voyons, this is good.
Releasing, yes. Good. Well, you have a different look on your face now, Victoria.
Oh, do I?
Yes, you do.
So it's a in the moment representation of a little shift.
A little shift.
Or a big shift.
Maybe, I don't know. It's up to you.
Shift.
Right? It's just simply a shift. Yeah.
A shift.
And what I see is you're more luminescent. That's what I see, my darling. So You know, this is what we are
Open.
growing. We're growing this opening, we're growing our luminescence, the ability to be, to stand and affirm ourselves and what is right and in a way that we can be seeking and listening with our hearts.
Yes, this week in the Evolve Up room, we have had different people talk about the importance of embodying peace. Not think about peace, yes, but not only thinking about peace, but how do we take the shifts into our physical body? How do we experience it? And you're providing a way and a set of movements to really open the pathways of our I want to say of our blood vessels. Yeah, it's blood vessels, and of our
It's
nervous
more, isn't
system.
it? It's 6 different parts of our psyche that
Okay.
we're integrating. So it makes it more powerful when you do the physical, the intellectual, the words, and the feelings, the thought, the feeling, the creative movement, allowing it to expand.
And when we come up to those areas, like for myself, in this one was my neck area where I've had injuries. So maybe that makes sense why I'm feeling burning in the neck area. So then you said to do what when we notice those?
Well, to put your attention on it, notice it, and send warm energy, relaxation. Allow the muscles, tell them to just relax. Because
Even as we're activating them.
you're activating a pattern that happened to protect you long ago when you had your injury. That's what you're activating. And it was a protection back then, but now it's not serving you as a protection to stiffen up and tense. It's
Yes.
not serving you. So you
Agreed.
need to consciously send your attention to that spot and allow it to relax. And it may not happen right away. But part of this too is that when you are aligning, and there's other exercises that we'll learn that help to align the spine. One of the things that happened to me was I broke my back when I was 16 years old. And I was actually in chronic pain for 5 years, I think, or 4 years, until I met someone who had me start doing slow movement. I was doing Tai Chi, actually, and yoga and weightlifting. So the weightlifting, beyond what you might imagine, is comfortable. Beyond the stage of feeling comfortable. Stay, not, being very aware, not going to break something, but I was weightlifting and bending a back that was very sore and reaching not just to my toes, but down farther, 4 inches lower than my toes.
Stretch.
Yeah, and lifting a 60-pound weight. So this is what, and it was stretching the spaces between the vertebrae. So, and later, when I was doing a 3-month meditation practice retreat with my contemplative program project of becoming a contemplative psychotherapist, we did sitting for like 9 hours a day. I was told I would never be able to sit for as long as an hour when my back broke. So I have learned, however, from his teaching and from everybody's, consciously to lift from the top of my head, lifting the whole time. So this is how we keep the space between the vertebrae and strengthen, really, the muscles that hold it up. So anyway, that's part of all of the learning that happens. In addition to just doing the empath stretch, we learn, breathing techniques, tapping, alignment, and looking at where the pain is and what it causes for you. So also we're looking at dreams and desires and what you want in life. So it's really about, because this project is about theoretically finding what our deepest yearning is, you know, a lot of children used to say world peace, right?
Mm-hmm.
So is that your deepest yearning, or do you have others? So let's write them down. Let's figure it out. Let's get it out there and put down what it is you want. Have it all be there, because, you know, all is possible. Let's have the strength and the courage to know all is possible.
And your history of breaking your back and going into a place for so many years of pain and immobility for some time before that. And now look at your movement. You're a stunning example of our physical body's capacity to heal through love, through intention, through desire and wanting to be healed. I know your foot broke was, you know, what, not even like maybe 3 weeks ago.
Yeah,
So you cut the healing time in half. You healed twice as fast.
I think I did. That's what I got to say. I'm getting all warm talking to you. It's exciting.
Yes, all this energy. Yes.
Yes, and you know, I've got this
Oh,
shiny
who is
face
that?
on the t-shirt. Oh, no, actually, just shining face. So,
Yep.
Yeah, I have been through a lot in my life as well. So I haven't been doing this practice for 50 years. Let's be clear. I started doing it maybe 10 years ago, but then I stopped. I had a lot of stuff going on, and I was working all over the place with my son and struggling, and I didn't really know what I was doing. I was pretty confused. After my mother passed away, she didn't really hand on her work to me.
Because she was holding on.
She was holding on very tight, always till the very end.
Yeah.
And not only that, but she disagreed with, you know, I kept saying, why are, she just had gotten herself into a place where she didn't want to waste time with anything except the Queen of England announcing that her telesymbol movement for peace would be, you know, funded $4 million to start. That was
that was her goal.
Something like that. Maybe it was 100 million, but it was, to me, it looked unreasonable, and I didn't pay much attention to it.
And here we are, you doing your version.
And I just, you know, I inherited all boxes and boxes of papers and over 100 artworks. You know, about 12 were 6 feet by 4 feet, huge.
Yeah, those are big, making a statement.
And they were statements. They were written out in her scroll, her particular, I'll show you one just for fun.
Look at all that walking.
Yeah.
You have a lovely view out your back window or your front window.
Yeah, I'm so lucky to be in this wonderful spot.
Yes.
This is her calligraphy, you know?
The heart, it beats the chord of time. I'm in my prime.
Yeah.
Dear ecstasy, this is vocabulary. I'm moving words, the whole of me.
So that was her.
I almost read, I'm moving upwards.
That's kind of nice too, isn't it?
Yeah, well, that's what I saw first, and that's why I paused. I'm like, wait, it doesn't say up. This is the Evolve Up room. I'm seeing up everywhere, even if it's not there.
That's wonderful. So, I love it.
Yes.
And let's go.
As we, yes. And as we come to the end of the
upwards.
Upwards and evolve up. Yes, as we come to the end of the hour here, I want to thank you, Lolo, for joining me and sharing your Empatharian movements, or to be a little more accessible for people, the co-creative movement meditation practice of the Empatharian movement. And you can find Lolo on Facebook.com at her Empatharian page or in her group, Empatharian Movement for Peace.
Or a website.
Or you can reach her at her website, empatharian.com, or her phone number, 415-272-0401, where she will get back to you within 24 hours usually. It's been a pleasure, Lolo, and we will come together again another time, I'm sure. We are just beginning.
I'm so glad. It's wonderful to see you again, Victoria.
Oh, and you. Thank you.
Take care. Bye now.